We took a whole team to Colombia last summer, and God showed up and God moved in some really big and some powerful ways. And He did such significant things that we were like, we've got to go back. We've got to continue the work that we started last year. So this summer, we took a team of 42 people from Alive to go and bring the love of Christ to people who are hurting across the city of Bogota.
See, what happened was last year, we heard about Alive and we heard about all these thousands of people they're preaching the gospel to, and like whole schools are getting saved, people are getting saved. I mean, it was incredible. And so for us, we were like, man, that's where our heart is. We just saw what Alive was doing. We saw the fruit that came from that, and we were like, look, let's go make a difference. Let's actually go with them.
This is a real deal, living in houses with people who live in Colombia and who speak Spanish, not English. We'd go to these schools, we'd do assemblies, where at the assembly they'd bring in the entire school and we would do our assembly, which basically for us meant we were doing dances, we were doing dramas, the band was playing, and then people were sharing their stories, literally sharing their testimonies of how God had changed their life.
Hey, I just wanted to talk to all of you a little bit about my life.
My life before Jesus was very, very broken.
My life is about glorifying God.
I kind of grew up knowing God.
Yo crecí más o menos conociendo a Dios.
But not really.
See, I purposely stepped back to allow our students to be able to do as much ministry as possible. And I'm telling you, when I did that, God just showed up and God just moved. And where there was times where I could have stepped in and done something, they stepped up in ways that made me so proud.
And there was a time when I was like so angry and hurtful and lustful, and I was wondering why these things were happening.
I've never met a little kid that says, when I'm a teenager, I want to be addicted to drugs.
God always keeps his promises.
That Jesus wants to rescue you. He's not done with you.
The men talk to the boys of these high schools about what it's like to be a real man and respect a woman for her heart. And in the girls' purity seminars, we talked about modesty, self-image, staying sexually pure, all sorts of things.
Because I didn't get the love that I needed from my family.
Yo no tenía el amor que necesitaba de mi familia.
I looked to the boys around me.
Right now, we're in an AIDS orphanage, and this has been an amazing experience.
These are kids that have AIDS, and they're so sweet. This is my amigo Carlos, and we like to play with the ball. I think God is using us to love on these kids and just be their friends, because a lot of people don't like to be near kids that have AIDS, and He's using us to take our fears away and just play with them and love them, and it's what they need.
Colombia was such an incredible experience for me because it gave me a new perspective on God and just how huge He is. Just to see how many lives were impacted just by our visit there was incredible. To see how many people were saved, how many people accepted Christ, just gave me this new picture of God that is just so huge, so much bigger than what I ever had imagined.
We showed up to the school, and it was a full school assembly, and the band started playing, and all the students were just excited. We were there. It was a great time, and we started telling them about Jesus and doing our program. And literally, I've never seen anything like this in my life. But we came to the ending, and Kevin started to tell them about Jesus, and he starts off and he starts telling them all about Jesus, and then he says, look, I want to give you an opportunity to accept Christ. And literally, he says, if you want to accept the grace of Jesus in your life, raise your hand. And I'm telling you, I've never seen anything like this in my life, but every single person raised their hand to accept Jesus.
'Cause I don't wanna